Hello and welcome. My name is Bizarre, and this one we'll be digging in the movie called Sing 2. Now, I love the first movie, Sing 1. It was all mesmerizing, especially with the song Try Everything by Shakira, and a lot of mesmerizing kind of things. But I saw this one, and this one is really interesting because it was filled with excitement, especially with Moon, Bastard Moon. This guy, of course, he's the orchestrator of the band, and he was trying his luck with his friends, with a lady that is a talented scout. And yeah, she's a talented scout. She was very grumpy, very close, very uptight. And everybody was trying their luck performing for her. He was very anxious, very worried that his band won't make it through. And this lady actually, she said enough of that and she left. He tried everything. He wanted to get her back, he wanted her attention. She was going through the corridor and she was going, and he tried to grab her, but he couldn't. Even he like raced her to her car, and he was like, waving around. But she buzzed him off, and she didn't want to talk to him. So he was like very distort, and he was trying to make the best of the situation. Now, this Mr. Moon, I don't know. I remember watching a film called Back Out Back. Now, this film is about a koala, and Moon is a koala, too. I don't know about animation and koalas. Koalas are cute, Koalas are really nice. But I don't know, what's the correlation? Why when I will be doing another episode about Back Out Back. It's about a koala and, creatures getting jealous of him. I will do probably an episode about that. But, it's always about koalas with animation, Anyway, back to the story. He tried for another guy, and this guy was really grumpy. He didn't like any performance. Even those creatures were, performing in a great way, but he really didn't like their performance. And no difference for Moon and his band, especially like the ape and the ape, I'm Still Standing, Sing 1. I mean, that song was really famous, and I really love it. He tried to perform in front of this wolf, and this wolf is actually the manager of the theater. Of course, he buzzed them off. And, he was, very distraught. He couldn't believe it because he thought it was good. Even much more creatures before him were really, really nice performers, but this wolf wasn't having any of it. So, he, one pork, or, he was trying, I have an idea. And this guy was talking about, flying kind of planets and stuff like that. He was rambling around, and he was very distraught, walking off the stage and saying Calloway. And then this wolf actually jumped up and said, Calloway? Said, yeah. And of course, Moon being who he is, he said, yes, of course, I know Calloway. And the wolf, he was now paying attention, saying, do you know Calloway? I say, yeah, of course. Moon didn't know Calloway at all, but he was trying to grab any kind of opportunity that will present itself. So they said, okay, flying, they did a little charade and little pitch about their potential song. And it's, he asked him, what's the name of your show? And Moon looked at the pork and said, what's the name of it? He said, Out of This World. And then he was captured. But he wasn't interested about the show itself. He was interested about Calloway. Now, Calloway is a guy who is alone for a long time, probably 15 years. He doesn't want anything to do with fame or fortune or singing. He used to be a singer, a very great singer, but now he's all alone. So this lizard lady, of course you know her, the lizard in Sing 1, she was trying to find where is Calloway. And all the band tried to find where is this Calloway. And they were doing some stage work, and this wolf manager of the theater came along, and he just showed up and looked at what they'd done to the place. It was like a big warehouse filled with planets and stuff like that. And he brought along his kid, a young wolfie, a young female wolf. And she was mesmerized. She was like, daddy's girl. And she wanted to take part. She wanted to take part of the play. And, of course, Moon, being the koala that he is, trying to manage his people, manage his friends, he said, no, I have this for my pork, And, of course, the wolf didn't have any of that. He said, no, you have to bring my daughter into this. And she was she was all over the place. She was really hard to deal with. And, even the pork tried to muster her courage and say, it's okay, I don't mind her taking my play, no problem. I have no issue with that. And she was rehearsing, and of course, the rehearse required a jump. And the pork was really afraid of the jump, and this wolf girl jumped, and she was really having fun. And, it encouraged the little pork to jump after her. But she didn't, she actually didn't. So, they were trying and trying. Of course, this wolf guy says, you don't have to let me down, because if you let me down, I will throw you off this building. And, of course, the Moon koala was like, that's funny. He he doesn't want to let this guy down. So anyway, the lizard actually, one day she found out where Calloway is, and this Calloway didn't want to speak to anybody. I mean, he saw the lizard and he said, buzz off. And then Moon and one beaver went into his residence. And they saw him, and he was playing the guitar or some kind of fire or something like that. He was all alone, and there was a little house, like a shack. And they were like, we want to talk to you. And this guy was buzz off, And they said, we really want to talk to you, and if you're not coming, we're going to come to you. And he said, but, he was super agitated. He said, don't touch the fence. And the beaver said, don't listen to him, And then they were burned out. Of course, he took them in. He tried to comfort them. He was really annoyed at their presence. He said, buzz off. And, of course, the beaver said one very nugget of wisdom. She said, never meet your heroes, because they might disappoint, I think that's interesting. So they tried a lot of convincing to get this guy on board, because this wolf will really mess up Moon's life if he doesn't get Calloway. Eventually, Calloway joined in the fun, and he wanted to be part of the play. Of course, Calloway went in, and the pork, mustered her courage again, but she didn't jump. And there was a buffalo. This buffalo is really funny. I mean, he was he was thinking that he was a really big star, And he was playing with an elephant, and this elephant was a really shy person. And of course, it required a little romantic dance and stuff like that. The elephant was really shy, and she doesn't want to get near that buffalo because he's has a big character. Okay, so she went outside, to get some fresh air, I guess, and she found an elephant that is do you want an ice cream? She was like, oh, this is so much, it's do you want an ice cream, clouded judgment on the girl. And she was like, yeah. And then she bursted into the door with her ice cream smashed and everything. And she was like, why, I want to think of this buffalo as the elephant, so I can dance with him and have a really good dance, romantic dance. I will envision that this buffalo is the nice ice cream guy, And that was really smart. The wolf eventually found out that these people, or this moon and this koala who's managing all of his friends, talented friends, he doesn't know Calloway. And he confronted him. He said, "You are lying to me, And he was like, "No, I was just trying to please you, And of course he said, "No, you're lying to me, and I don't like liars, So he wanted to be he really wanted to mess him up, but before throwing, he needed to go on a show, so he went on a show. This guy was saved for a bit, because if this guy comes back, he might do something really nasty to this guy. So and somebody was knocking on the door, and then he thought it was his people, this wolf people, and then it turned out to his friends, and his friends was there, and Calloway was there, and I was like, oh, wow, now you showed up, he decided to show up. After a long time convincing, thinking to himself, he said, "Okay, I'm gonna sing with you guys." So actually, security came, and they wanted to beat the crap out of these people. So they decided to jump from the window into the pool, and from the pool they escaped, with all security following them around. And he was they saw this wolf guy on TV making fun of this band and saying they're up to no good, they're no talent, they're nothing, And that really struck a chord with the young koala Moon, And he decided, no, we're going to show this guy. We are very talented, we're very talented creatures, I guess, and we can sing very beautifully. So they actually took away the stage, per se. Yeah, they took the stage, and I don't know how they actually tried to shun this guy. Yeah, his daughter actually caged him in. And he was banging on the door, trying his best. And they were doing this show, okay? Moon and his friends were doing this show. And the ending of this video is really great, because Calloway had second thought about going and confronting the audience again. He said, "I can't do it." Of course, the beaver went, and she was singing in a very sad tone. And then Calloway actually mustered his courage and came up to the stage. And everybody was mesmerized. I mean, including me, because he was really great. He was really out there. And, eventually this wolf, somebody helped him, and he got out. And he looked at the situation. He looked at the crowd screaming in joy. And he looked at these people, or these creatures, I must say. And he was taking out the show. Everybody was saying, "Oh, you're a genius. He was a manager of the theater, so he was "You're a genius for bringing these guys in." And he said, okay. And he went to the stage, and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much. This is a wonderful, wonderful party, and I love being part of this, and we will have this show for many, many years, Moon and his friends weren't there when he was giving his little speech. And then came the grumpy lady, the lamb. She was a lamb. Yeah, she was a lamb. Yeah, she came the grumpy lady. She said, "Take this guy and arrest him," And he was arrested. And even he had a little helper, a beaver, and he was saying, "I love you," you imagine some people when you they have they're around a bad person, they love them even when he's defeated them, he lost, it's just funny. After that, the end of the charade ended. It was beautiful, but I must say that I love the first Sing movie. Even though I didn't watch it, I watched glimpses of it, I guess, and watched I'm Still Standing, and also watched Try Everything, and watched little clips of trailers, But I would believe that if I watched the first video, I would love it more than the second one. Even though the ending of this second video was awesome, I must say, really great, especially with this Calloway creature. I mean, he's like a big lion, and he was all to himself. yeah, you like mysterious kind of creatures like that. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and see you in the next one.